Okay, hello. So I am here with the very lovely Natalia from Cucuta, Norte de Santander. So I was supposed to meet the lovely Natalia earlier, and the walk that I took from the Basilica de Metropolitana de Medellin to I don't know, the opposite side of the central business district where I was walking earlier today. We were going to go together, but we got a little bit confused in communication. So I ended up just doing it myself, and we met up a little later. So now we're just walking around having a difficult time trying to communicate because my Spanish is really terrible and her English is not so great, más o menos. So now we're sitting in a little park by a beautiful chapel here. And I don't know if this building is belonging to the University of Medellin or one of the universities of Medellin, but I love this building here. It's got a very we were debating this. She suggested maybe Baroque, but I was thinking maybe more so Romanesque architecture, because the columns here, as you can see further down on the building, are more broad and Romanesque in style. But we were also thinking it could be more Baroque, just because of the ornate stylings the facade of the building is finished with. So we can just take a little walk around the square here and just take a look at the lovely architecture, because as a European I feel much more at home in the presence of detailed ornate architecture such as we have before us. So let's take a little look at this beautiful building here. Well, as we can see here, lots of people gathered around enjoying their Saturday. As we were talking about earlier, lots of vendors selling all sorts of quality wares, locally made. So as we can see, this facade of this building, very European looking in style. The lovely Natalia was telling me that one of the more interesting historical figures of the nation, Francisco de Santander, was perhaps the founder of this university or this chapel. I'm not quite sure here, but there is a statue of our beloved Francisco de Santander over here. Let's just zoom in and let's see. We'll get a closer look at him in a moment. But we have Francisco de Santander over here. So yeah, in case my audio isn't good, I was just showing the statue of Francisco de Santander, who was apparently the founder of this institution here. And we have some other historical figure who I don't know very well. Apparently Dr. General Marceliano Velez, who I haven't read about in the past, but maybe an interesting historical figure to learn about. Yeah, Natalia, I'm just going to film a little bit, so I'll be back in a moment. So yeah, let's take a look at this beautiful building. Oh. Boom. Yeah, really nice place to hang out and spend a Saturday. It's a much quieter part of this area that I'm staying in at the moment. Los árboles, edificio. Yeah, I think we're zoomed out as much as we can be. So yeah, as we can see, we have the very ornate and detailed facade of this, I don't know, should we call it a chapel, a church, or a cathedral? But it seems to be adjoined onto or as a part of the University de Antioquia, as we can see here on this part of the facade. Universidad de Antioquia. So yeah, me as a European being around architecture with such detail just makes me feel right at home. I spent a lot of time in Prague and the Czech Republic more generally, and everywhere you go, it is just covered with really, really detailed architecture. So I'm going to continue just filming around this building and showing it off, and what a lovely place we have to spend some time here in Medellin, Colombia. Yes. And I do also want to make a video in the future about the homeless situation in the city, because it is... you want to be on camera? Oh, let me go. Peace. I'll catch you later. Hasta luego, brother. All right, anyway, yeah. Usually when I'm filming, I don't want to be giving money to people because it's too distracting, but it's a nice quiet area here. I don't have much to be worried about, and it's, you know, just some poor homeless old guy who could do with an extra few pesos. So as I was saying, in another video in the future, I'm going to document the homeless situation in this city, because there's a lot of homelessness. I know, you know, there would be worse places to live as a homeless person because the weather is amazing here and you can literally sleep outside every night and, you know, never be cold. But at the same time, you know, there is very, very evident poverty and a very, very serious homelessness problem. And, you know, like coming from a degenerating Europe and my own country with record homelessness issues that keep getting worse and worse. I mean, some parts of the city, it's some of the worst homelessness as far as numbers I have ever seen. And previously, on my travels throughout South America and Colombia specifically, I was not in this part of the city. So in this part of the city, it is very, very noticeable that there is a serious issue with homelessness and a lot of people who are severely lacking as far as resources, and that is undeniable. But that's not the focus of what I wanted to do today. But I do want to remark that that's something that I do want to bring some attention to in the future, because it's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful place, but obviously, you know, like, it is a country that is struggling with poverty, and a lot of the people here do, you know, have serious issues with poverty and just everyday struggles making enough to get by. And I know for someone like me, who's a European, who's to come here, you know, with the money I made in Europe, where it's easier to make money and I can, you know, like, live it up to some extent and not be too worried about costs. But, you know, it's not like that for everybody here. And yeah, that's obviously something wherever you are in the world that people should put attention on. There are many people who have an overabundance, and there are so many people who have nothing. Like, even myself, as someone who doesn't have a whole lot, like, I feel compelled to be, you know, like, giving money to people here constantly, because there are so many people who are so evidently lacking as far as resources, and it's just, you know, makes you feel bad if you got a soul at all. So, you know, like, it would be great if my channel ever gets off the ground, and if I ever get donations, like, if people send me money, I would be happy to film myself just handing out wads of cash to, you know, the most desperately poor and in need people that you're probably ever going to see or find. So on that note, I just wanted to show the square here, the university, the Antioquia, and the beautiful architecture of the building that I just showed, which makes Europeans such as myself feel right at home, as well as all the lovely people who are so friendly, and just generally decent, kind-hearted people for the most part, at least in my experience so far. So, for the moment, this is No Soy Gringo, signing out, my lovelies.